Witam Was serdecznie. W poniedziałek, czyli z samego początku tygodnia, zabieramy Was na wirtualną podróż. Zgodnie z zapowiedziami, tym razem wylądujemy w Ugandzie. Uganda nie jest typowym kierunkiem jeszcze turystycznym, chociaż to jedno z niewielu miejsc, gdzie możecie zobaczyć goryle górskie. Stąd bardzo rekomendujemy Wam to miejsce na ziemi. Powiem Wam, że dosyć długo z Isaaciem rozmawialiśmy na temat tego spotkania i ustalaliśmy termin właściwy, ustalaliśmy miejsce, robiliśmy sporo testów, więc mamy nadzieję, że wszystko będzie w porządku. Chciałabym Was zapytać tradycyjnie na początku, te osoby, którym udało się już dołączyć do wydarzenia, czy widzicie nas online? Bo ja mam trochę wątpliwości, czy jesteśmy online, czy nie. Sprawdzę tutaj u siebie, no ja widzę, że chyba jest ok, więc jeżeli są z nami już jakieś osoby podłączone do tego wydarzenia, to bardzo Was proszę, dajcie proszę znać krótko w komentarzu, że jest ok technicznie, czyli że nas widzicie, że mnie słychać. Widzę, że pomału się tutaj zbieracie i chcecie wspólnie z nami zwiedzić Ugandę, co nas niezmiernie cieszy. Także te osoby, którym udało się podłączyć, niech napiszą po prostu krótki komentarz w tym poście, pod tym live, że jest ok technicznie, bo mam nadzieję, że jest i to będzie dla nas znak, że możemy ruszać i zabierać Was na wirtualną podróż po Ugandzie. Chwilkę jeszcze poczekamy. Chciałabym mieć pewność, że jest ok, także prośba o krótki komentarz. Jeżeli się nie pojawią, no to będziemy ryzykować i będziemy i tak zaczynać. Mam nadzieję, że nas widzicie. Ja tutaj siebie widzę na ekranie obok, więc przypuszczam, że jest wszystko technicznie ok. Tak jak zaczęłam Wam mówić na początku, zabieramy Was w kolejną wirtualną podróż. Tym razem wyruszymy do Afryki, a konkretnie do Ugandy, która no myślę, że jest naprawdę niepopularnym kierunkiem jeszcze, ale mogę powiedzieć może nie tyle niepopularnym, a takim jeszcze trochę nietuzinkowym i wiele osób jeszcze nie zawitało do Ugandy, więc dlatego chcielibyśmy Was zabrać tam wirtualnie, z uwagi też na sytuację, chociaż Uganda akurat jest otwarta na ruch turystyczny od jakiegoś czasu, więc spokojnie możecie tam podróżować i odwiedzić, no niepowtarzalne na pewno górskie zwierzęta, także myślę, że to jest dobry czas, żebyśmy Wam kawałek Ugandy pokazali wirtualnie i to mamy nadzieję zachęci Was do podróży takiej w tradycyjnej formule do tego magicznego miejsca. Ja się nazywam Elwira Urbańczyk i reprezentuję firmę Make Break, w której zajmujemy się przygotowywaniem wyjazdów szytych na miarę po całym świecie. Są to wyjazdy zarówno dla klientów indywidualnych, jak i klientów biznesowych w postaci wyjazdów motywacyjnych, powszechnie nazywanych incentywami. Tworzymy także eventy, konferencje, również w formule online, ale także w formule tej tradycyjnej, bo wiem, że wiele osób już za tą tradycyjną formułą face to face tęskni, także jeżeli ktokolwiek będzie potrzebował z Was pomocy w tym zakresie, serdecznie Was zapraszam do kontaktu. A teraz chciałabym Wam przedstawić naszego dzisiejszego gościa, którego widzicie tu na ekranie obok i spotkanie będzie w języku angielskim, ponieważ Isaac jeszcze nie umie mówić po polsku, ale może postaramy się go trochę nauczyć. Także przedstawiam Wam Isaaca. Hello Isaac, how are you?
Hi Elvia, I'm all right, I'm very well. I'd really like to welcome you all to Uganda. Yeah, my name is Isaac Muhumza. I've worked as a tours operator for tours to Uganda and to East Africa for the last 7 years. And I'm really glad to be on call with you guys and to show you what Uganda has to offer for tourism purposes. Uganda, if you are wondering where Uganda is found in East Africa. And it is the size of Uganda is 70% the size of Poland. That is around 241,000 square kilometers. But of that size, 20% is covered by water bodies and swamps, and that gives the nation a good ecosystem diversity. That's why when we are moving with this tour, we shall be able to see why is such a small country of Uganda very gifted with nature, very gifted with many birds and animals. This is because the distribution of the topography in the country is way much varied. We have mountains, we have lakes, we have swamps, we have semi-arid areas. So from wherever you move, the topography changes, and that gives a good habitat for the major animals and plants or butterflies, birds that we have in Uganda. Now,
and you have the magical animals, like, for example, the mountains gorillas, yeah, which is typical place when somebody wants to see them.
Yeah, sure. And we shall be moving around here, and I will be giving you more information about location of where we can find these animals that we are going to see today, and also about the people in those areas that live around those protected areas. But a little more about Uganda. You can see it is a very sunny, beautiful afternoon here in Uganda.
That's
and
true.
it is. We lie on the equator, and our climate is primarily equatorial. That is warm and wet. Yeah, it rains, but usually the climate, the weather doesn't go colder than 15 degrees centigrade. No, or it also hardly goes hotter than 33 degrees centigrade. So now here we are, and on this sunny afternoon, I'm really glad to be joining you guys for this virtual tour. Uganda benefits a lot from tourism. Yeah, tourism contributes roughly 9% to the country's GDP. And for that reason, Uganda is putting a lot of effort into protecting natural wildlife places and other natural recreational places that contribute as well to the number of tourists that come into the country. Tourism in Uganda is the major tourist attractions in Uganda can be categorized into three. We have people or cultures. Uganda, small as it is, has 52 tribes of people. 52 tribes. These are subdivided into like 5 ethnicities. So these 52 tribes each have different cultures, yeah? Each have different norms, each have different beliefs. Yes, some of them are related, some of them are closer to each other, but they are different people. That gives us a very good cultural diversity in the country, and that makes cultural tourism an important factor of tourism in the country. Then we have also natural features. Natural features contribute a lot to tourism in Uganda. As I earlier told you, we have mountains. We have Mountain Rwenzori and Mountain Elgon. We have the River Nile. That's the longest river in the world. It starts here in Uganda, just very near us. Here is the source of the River Nile, which is Lake Victoria. We also have in the country around more than 300 mammal species in the country. These are the backbone for the national parks and tourism in the national parks that goes on. We also have more than 1,000 bird species. If you can, I don't know if you can hear in my background, we have so many birds chatting around.
We hear.
Definitely. We also have more than 1,000 species of butterflies, 200 species of reptiles, that includes snakes. So really, Uganda is an attraction that is worth the eye of any person interested in tourism, and as that. Now, still talking tourism, here right now, where I am, is called Uganda Wildlife Education Center. This place lies on 72 acres of land, and it was set up in 1952 by the colonial government. It is, I'll start to move around, so expect some little fluctuations in the videos. It is, let me switch the video so that we can start now looking around at whatever thing we can come across as I explain what Uganda has.
See. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was telling you that Uganda, this place was started in 1952 by the colonial government as a sanctuary for rescued animals, and also as a facility to teach the natives about wildlife resources that Uganda has to offer. With the growing, way back in 1952, there was not too much to show. There was not too much of human settlement, and most jungles were filled with animals. But with increasing human settlement, a lot of pressure was exerted onto the habitats, and that resulted into animals being in conflict with mankind. You would find a lot of animals would stray into inhabited areas, and this place was instituted so that those animals which would be rescued from the wilderness could have a home here. Yeah, and with time, it has also become a center of research, whereby scientists can come here and volunteers they come here and start researching about diseases that affect wildlife, and also to start to breed animals that are threatened in the wilderness, so that they can increase their populations as well. This place is also an educational center, and it is very easy for people to come here and learn about the different animals that they only read about in school. When this place was set up, it was designed in a way that it should reflect what you can see when you come on a typical Ugandan safari. Right on the camera, you will see grasslands and woodlands. Yeah. Like I earlier explained, the topography affects the vegetation, which also affects distribution of animals. If you go to most of the national parks, the biggest national park in Uganda is called Murchison Falls National Park. It is predominantly savanna grasslands. Like it is, if you can see on camera, this is how you will find the grasslands there, especially when it's in the dry season. But then again, there are some sections, especially those, the Murchison Falls National Park is divided by the River Nile. Now, the River Nile is a barrier to animals like giraffes that can eat the vegetation on trees. So there is some section where you'll find, like you see in the background, yeah, you'll find forested. Most sections you'll find savanna, like right now. So the place you can see on camera is like a replica of the Savannah National Parks, the first replica. We shall find another one later on. I don't know if you can see very clearly. There is a zebra. Yeah,
there is far away.
Yeah, it's quite far, but there is a zebra here. Then also some distance there is an impala far in the. I don't know if I can point to you around here. There is an impala. Maybe you will notice some movement there. I just hope they will come closer. Yeah. You can see the zebra is trying to get closer. It has had calls from its fellow zebras somewhere else.
I remember that last time when we were testing here, there was a small elephant close to camera. Came here.
Yes, it is here, but it's quite
Somewhere.
far. But I know it will come. It will come closer. Yeah. So Savannah National Parks usually look like this. But then also there are woodlands. Now, in the woodlands, like if you can see the forested areas, that's why you mainly find forest elephants, the chimpanzees, baboons, and all other primates. There are live descriptions to show some of the species that we have around this specific section. Here, right before you, you'll see common ostrich. We shall see it later. The Uganda kob. Yeah, it is. I don't know if you can see it moving closer, but we shall find them. I think let's get moving and we see what is closer to us. Then we can later return when even the elephant you saw last time is right there, but it is still some distance. It's still shy. But I had earlier told you, this place was set up as a sanctuary mainly for rescued animals. The elephant we shall see here later has a story which I'll tell you about as we get back. Again, this facility here is also a recreational facility, and there are so many. You can see there are kids games and a lot of things, so that it can be a typical environment for people to come with families and take a look. Then another thing, here in Uganda, at this facility, we also have a demonstration. There's also a demonstration objective to it. At the start of this year, the Uganda Wildlife Authority introduced tigers into Uganda. Tigers are not native to Uganda or even to Africa, no. But tigers were introduced so that people can take a look and see how tigers really look like. Yeah, so we are getting to the cage of the tigers and we shall be able to see it. But here is the signpost. Welcome to the tiger enclosure. Yeah, but where we are taking these tours, where these demonstrations happen, the major uh, reason why they would like us to look at these animals and appreciate them is that the facility wants us to learn that these things are given to us by Mother Nature and that we should conserve them so that they don't get extinct and we get to a point of looking at them like this. They would rather have people learn and know that animals are good and we should live with them in harmony, yeah, and protect their natural habitat as well as protect them. Here is the tiger, a very big animal. These tigers live, they are native in Asia, synonymous with India. Yeah. And
Maybe he will come closer. Yeah, we see.
You can see him. I wish he can come closer. Oh, he's lying down. He's a very huge animal here. Anyway, but we shall continue moving. A good thing is here is the start. We shall end here as well. So most likely we shall find them near. Back to the Murchison Falls side of our tour. I don't know if you, our elephant is around, but it is taking shelter. There, up there. It will come back. We shall have a look at it. Yeah, here is the description here.
It's one of the rescue elephant, yeah, from
yeah. This elephant was rescued from Queen Elizabeth National Park. It was at a very young age. It was around 1 year when it was rescued. Elephants nurse from their mother for around for 3 years. Yeah, they have to depend on their mothers. But this animal was the mother was killed by poachers. That is one of the challenges that we face here in Uganda. That communities that live around national parks, some of them trade in animal artifacts like tusks. So its mother was killed sadly, and the baby was left alone, vulnerable to any attacks by other wild animals, and eventually it couldn't make it. So once the rangers noticed this, they rescued the young elephant and brought it here at this facility. Here it was taken care of. It was fed milk. I remember one time we came here in 2017. It was a really tender animal. We fed it milk and they trained it as well. They kept monitoring it, taking tests. It is trained. That's why you see that it is not rowdy. Yeah. And now it has grown. It has even brought tusks, which it is now also a learning experience for us to know that, well, we have these animals, we have to protect them, we have to keep them with us because we can't afford to lose them. We benefit from them. Now, like for us who work in tourism, we know very well that these are the backbones of our businesses. Right before me is the cage for a savo cat. A savo cat is a native. It's a native wild animal here in Uganda. It loves to live around human settlements because it loves chicken. Yeah, it loves chicken very much, and that's why it's always in trouble with man because these cats will always break into homes to steal chicken. I remember when we were young, we would hear about this animal, but we never saw it because it usually breaks in at night when everybody is sleeping, and then you hear chicken cackling. By the time you come to count, two are gone. And still in the wilderness, it's very much threatened because of that. Well, I can't seem to find it, but it is around here. It is around here in its cage. When it gets down, we shall be able to spot it and focus on it. It has 2 kittens as well, and it would be really nice to look at. But it is native here in Uganda, and it's evenly distributed in the country. It's easy to spot, but you can in the wilderness it's very elusive I had a lot of stories about it when I was growing up, but I had never seen it. I found it at this facility.
So it's
Yeah.
hard to find even in the natural environment.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just like all other cats.
Yeah.
Apart from lions are the only social cats. The other cats are not social. They are solitary animals. They are very territorial animals. Like, they love their peace. They only come together to mate, and off they go. So for that reason, you can't easily spot two of them, or one. Or you can only spot one, and only spot it on a hunt. Moving just right next to the Savo cat's cage, we have the Caracol's cat. A caracal is also a cat. It's bigger, brown. I think. Do you see something here? Do you see? It is resting on a platform, but it's looking the other side.
Yeah, not very clear, but yeah, we see it on the platform.
Yeah, it's resting on its platform. It's looking the other side. Yeah, the caracal is also native here. This one can it can as well. This one can eat other bigger the young ones of big animals like goats. So it's also not friends with humans because of intrusion and premises and feeding on livestock as well. But it's native in Uganda, and it's as well very hard to find in the wilderness. Very, very hard, very difficult. Its favorite food are birds, chicken, also young ones like of hare and goats as well. It can feed on those. Well, next to us, we are going to the king's quarters. Yeah, this is where the lions. This is the cage for the lions.
Yeah.
Now,
Lions,
lions.
Mentai, I would like to ask you one question from the audience about the safety in Uganda for tourists when they travel. What do you think about that?
Well, Uganda is fairly safe. The last time we had an issue about tourist safety, it was like it was like 2 years ago. But the country's borders are well secured. Yeah. And even now, with all protected national parks, with all wildlife centers, there is what we call a tourism police. There is also what we call the UPDF, and these are the national army. This is the national army. They offer highly specialized protection to protected areas because they are very important for the country's economy, and it's also very critical when we get insecurity cases around wildlife reserves. But Uganda is very safe for travel, and usually there are flash points around times of elections, but those are usually those are minor internal conflicts. They are not security threats as into the safety of tourists. When we get to most of some national parks, yes, are closest to the borders, which are for example, like Queen Elizabeth, the southern side of Queen Elizabeth is very close to Congo. Oftentimes there is insecurity in Congo, but there is a heavy deployment of the army on that border because there is a bad history of some. There was a history in the 1990s where tourists were abducted, so the government really doesn't want such a thing to repeat. Because when that thing happened, gorilla trekking was suspended for like 2 years. Yeah. But since then, the army has heavily beefed up in the area, and when you're going for most game activities, there will be wildlife army in there. Their importance first is to protect you from attacks of wild animals, but also to be sure of your safety. Yeah. So Uganda is safe for clients to travel. It is
That's
safe.
great.
Usually we have the small flashpoints as the results of elections. They usually don't last much.
Yeah, you need to take care like everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So right before me, you can see a lioness. It's also resting on a platform. There are 6 lions that live in this cage. They have as well quarters. There are some quarters that you can see up there where they get restrained in case it's time for their routine checkups. Yeah, you can see those quarters. That's where they get restrained from. But this is their playing place where they can come out and live. Lions in Uganda can be found in 5 of the 7 national parks that we have. Usually, the major reasons for them not being in those other 2 national parks is because the national parks are small and they could easily upset the ecosystems if, in case, they are introduced there. But lions in Uganda are not threatened. They are in plenty. Yeah, they are not threatened. So you have high chances of viewing lions in the country than viewing leopards, because lions are social animals. They live in families called prides, and and they also hunt in groups. So animals that live in groups are much easier to spot than animals that live
Alone.
solo lives. Yeah,
Yeah,
they live
yeah.
alone, like
That's true.
the smaller cats. Yeah. So we are moving ahead to the section of birds. There are a few birds that are kept here at the sanctuary, most because birds are not under threat. But we have some birds that were rescued from the wilderness because of injuries, and then they came in here and bred. Yeah, we have some parrots here, some wild parrots. These are very common birds. These are forest. The parrot you can see there. It's a wild parrot. It's greeting you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Say
these are
hello.
wild birds. Yeah, you can see in the background there is a peacock. They are peacocks. They are also wild birds. Then you can see these black-headed weaver birds. These are native birds. You'll find them in people's homes and everywhere. But if you see that very colorful bird, it's the peacock. Yeah, it's coming closer. Yeah. Okay, these ones are also well distributed in the country. Like I had earlier told you, Uganda has over 1,000 bird species. Yeah, and it's a very important bird as haven. We have hosted so many people who come here and camp in the forest just to look at birds for a long time. Yeah. So, in case you are thinking about birding trips, uh, uh, 51% of bird species in Africa can be found in Uganda here alone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And where we can find them, in which park?
The best birding destinations in Uganda are Kibale Forest National Park, yeah, and Windy, yeah, then Semliki Valley National Park, even Murchison Falls National Park. Those are very key birding havens here in Uganda, but most birds are evenly distributed around the country. Yeah. So some of these birds are here for breeding purposes so that their numbers can increase. Like these peacocks that we see here. Yeah. The primary reason why they are here is to breed enough of them. We shall see ostriches there ahead. They are also purposely here for breeding and exhibition as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Away from the birds cage, we have the.
Oh, we see your finger on camera.
Oh, sorry,
Oh,
sorry,
now it's good. No
sorry.
problem.
Okay, I'm just walking around to see if we still have the hyena around here. Yes, we do. You see, that is a hyena. Unfortunately, the cage is
Hidden.
bushy for us to spot. But if you could see a little there, the hyenas are.
Yeah, and
I don't know if you can see them. They are lying on the ground,
yeah,
but the cage is bushy
yeah.
for
So
us
it's
to have
hard to see clear it. Yeah,
a clean look at them. Yeah,
you
hyenas are
know,
also
it's like on nature. It's sometimes it's hard to find animals. Yeah, because we need to,
sure. Well, that is nature, but at least here we have a good chance of spotting them.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
true.
hyenas are carnivores. They are evenly distributed in all national parks in Uganda. They are very, very efficient hunters. Actually, they kill more animals than lions, and they are also very brave animals. They can steal and they can steal from all other predators. They can as well eat anything. So they are very interesting animals here. And another interesting fact about hyenas is that in their kingdom the females rule. Like they are led by the female hyena called the matriarch. And in case that female hyena dies, the daughter, yeah, takes over it takes over the pack of hyenas. So in their kingdom, leadership is is inherited along feminine lines, just like elephants. Also, elephants, they are the females that lead the herds as well. Here we are going to see the rhino, that side up. Then
Okay.
from there we shall come to the chimpanzees. But a little about the rhinos. Rhinos in Uganda were extinct in the 1980s due to heavy political instability. There was a lot of wars going on, and when the country is in a war, um, the government cannot devote enough resources to protect wildlife. So the animals suffered from poachers because most were killed and their tusks sold to fund the wars by the rebels. And as a result, the rhinos got extinct from the wilderness. But later, this institution started a drive to repopulate the rhinos, and there is a sanctuary called Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary along the way as you're going to Murchison Falls National Park, uh, where uh, where rhinos are now being kept with the hope
Mhm.
of breeding enough of them so that they can be reintroduced in the country. The populations are still very small. There are still 28 of them here, but again, it is still a long-term project, and we are grateful that at least we can still look at rhinos. Sorry, there is noise coming in from a, a
No, it's
neighboring
okay.
a
No
neighboring golf
problem.
course. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see the rhinos. I'll try to go as close as possible to where they are. Their stand has been plowed so that grass can regrow again. And in order to sustain them, rhinos are very big animals, and for that reason, they require a lot of feed to sustain them. So the sanctuary has to make sure that there is enough food for them. That's why they keep plowing their fields so that fresh grass can grow along when the rains come. Yeah, we are entering the start of the rainy season, and for that matter, if you go into the national parks at this time, you'll find there are some sections which are banned. Now, banning is done for the ecological purpose of making the grass to regrow, and also to control pests like ticks and other diseases that could come with that could have been stored or that flourish in the dust. Right before me
Yeah.
are two rhinos, white rhinos. Yeah,
That's good
and
that you say that you protect these animals, because I get a feeling that everywhere on the world there is a lack of them. They are not a big population, so it's really important to protect them.
yeah, sure.
Mm.
So here we have the white rhinos. These specific ones were imported from South Africa. Like I'd earlier told you, their populations were out.
Mhm.
With the rhinos, we see some white birds. Uh, these are called egrets. Um, Rhinos are very ferocious animals. They don't entertain intruders. Yeah, and they
Mm-hmm.
can easily charge at. They are quite fast, despite being burly. They are quite fast. They do not tolerate intruders. So you have to be careful when you're dealing with
Mm-hmm.
them. Yeah, but they don't eat. They are 100% herbivorous. They only eat grass. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we see these small birds following them. These birds have an interesting relationship with the rhinos. The birds pick ticks and the other dead tissue from the rhino's skin. Yeah, so that's why the rhinos tolerate them, and they do not chase them away. They are like these are
Yeah.
neighbors. So these birds can be found all over Uganda. They nest in swampy areas, and uh, they also observe this relationship with buffaloes. They can also be found in cattle herds. They are a good biological pest control agent, and they are very beneficial to the wildlife here in the
Hmm.
country.
That's
Yeah,
interesting. The relationship with the bats.
yes, sure. There are other birds which are black. We are moving away from the rhino stand. There are other birds called piapiaks. You can find them taking a ride on buffaloes or elephants in big numbers, but they also serve the same purpose. They pick parasites from the skins of animals. Usually, these animals are unable to pick parasites off their own skin. Some of them wallow in the mud. Like, for example, if you go to Queen Elizabeth, you will find buffaloes that are unrecognizable because their whole body is coated in mud. They always
Mhm.
do that as a way of controlling, of stopping ticks from sticking onto their bodies. Yeah. And also, they do it uh, so that their bodies are not scorched so much by heat and also other flies. So these birds do a very good job in keeping these animals free from ticks and other parasites. We are walking closer to the water ecosystem. The water
Mhm.
ecosystem is a replica of what you will find in swampy areas or what you'll find around lakes. This facility, I had not yet told you that this facility is just located on the shores of the largest freshwater lake in Africa, that is Lake Victoria.
Yeah.
And for that reason, we have quite a number of birds around here. Um, this is not a wild animal. This is a goat. Just
Yeah.
look at it. Yeah. So we have a number of water birds around this area, and now we are getting to see the water ecosystem and to see what famous birds can you see in Uganda around water bodies. Yeah. Mm.
When is the best time to visit Uganda during the year?
The best time to visit Uganda is usually in the dry season. In the dry
Mm.
season, why the dry season is because during the dry season, if you're coming purposely for wildlife viewing, it is because when it is dry, animals are quite easy to spot. Yeah,
Mm. Because
because
they
most
going
and
and looking for a water somewhere, yeah?
they go look for water and as well as grass because
Ah,
everything rotates on the animals that eat grass.
okay.
Because the animals that eat grass are food for the animals that eat meat. So during the dry season, the animals that eat grass are easy to see. And where you see the animals that eat grass, you know the animals that eat meat are there. Then
Mhm.
another disadvantage that comes with the rainy season is that nature is made in a way that animals give birth during the wet season when the rains come, so that there is a lot of food for the mothers to eat and so that they can nurse their young ones. But when it rains, the grasses grow and the bushes grow tall. Yeah, it is easier for
Mhm.
the mothers to hide their calves. It is also in that same season that's when the carnivores, the lions, the hyenas, also that's when they give birth. And when a lion gives birth, it has to move away from the herd because it has to protect the young ones. When at a tender age, they can easily be killed by fellow lions.
Mhm.
Now that prompts the animals to go deeper into the thickets, deeper into the bushes where they are not easy to spot. Yeah, and since in the national parks we drive along tracks like these, it is not allowed. It is unacceptable for you to move into the bush. It is also not safe for you
It's
to
not
move through the
safe,
bush.
yeah.
Yes.
I
So
remember when I was on safari and, go outside. Masai men, and they stopped me and said, "No, you cannot go there. You cannot go by walk. It's dangerous. There are a lot of lions here." So we need to imagine a lot of things that can
yeah,
happen and be careful. Yeah, it's natural, and we need to
yes,
accept that we are a guest there.
sure. And also again during the rainy season, there is there are high chances of finding challenges with the road because most road networks are maram roads like these, yeah. And when it
Mm-hmm.
rains, they get challenging, they get messy, so you might encounter challenges with driving on the road. That's why it's always advisable to travel within the dry season. Now Uganda, like all equatorial regions, has two rainy seasons in the year. The first rainy season starts with March and ends with May, and then the second rainy season starts with September, yeah, and ends at the end of November. Right now, we are in the transition period of into we are getting into the rainy season, but we are still in the highest tourism season of the year. And in the last months of July and August, we saw a lot of tourists, a lot of numbers of tourists coming into the
Mm-hmm.
country, still observing the trends of the rain and the dry season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we are right at the wildlife ecosystem.
Okay.
There in picture, we have the gray-crowned crane. This is the national bird. Why is it the national bird? It has the colors of our national flag. Our national flag is like the German flag, only that for us the colors are times two. And this bird also features on our
Mm-hmm.
national flag. Yeah, sorry, I'm unable to show you the flag, but you can find it. You can find the Uganda national flag. Now, this bird is very common in swampy areas. Here it is. It's close enough for us to see. It is very common in swampy areas. They nest in water bodies and they couple for life. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and when one of them dies, the other one does not find another mate to couple with. So it is one chance for coupling, and that is it. Here you can see there are two as well, just like
Yeah.
they should be in their natural environment. But usually, sometimes you can find them in groups, especially during the mating season. There is quite a spectacular dance they put up when it is their mating season, and it's a wonderful spectacle. They can be found anywhere in the country as long as they are swampy and there are water bodies for them uh, to breed and to feed from. They usually feed on insects and frogs and other fish as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we during the test we will discuss that if one of the couple will die, the second one needs to live alone, so it won't be a long time for live anymore. Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
really
sure.
interesting.
It is just like how man is made to, just like how married people can be. Like once you
Yeah.
lose a life partner, it becomes hard for the rest of your life. So in that case, you find that the other partner does not live as long. It will also die shortly after the other one has died. So like after a year, we could find the
Mm.
other animal has died as well.
Yeah.
We are going to look at another one of the most interesting birds in Uganda, which is called the shoebill stork. it is nicknamed as a descendant of dinosaurs in Uganda. It is a very big bird, yeah, but it is also very interesting. It flies. However big it is, it can fly. It also lives on swampy areas. Yeah, this right here is
He's
the shoebill
funny.
stork.
With his big head, he's funny.
Yeah, it has a very big head, very broad bill, and a very thick neck. This
Yeah.
animal, while it is hunting, it can stay still for like an hour without any movement. Yeah, while waiting to catch fish. Yeah, so we are lucky here. We can find it turning its neck, but
Yeah.
earlier people thought that these birds don't fly. So even fishermen used to fear them, that they are a bad omen. Whenever they would go fishing and they find these birds, they know today we are not going to catch any fish, which then became a disadvantage to the birds because they people were chasing them off their homeland, which off their habitats, which are swamps. But now it has drawn a lot of attention, and the areas where we have the showbills uh, residing are now, most of them are under protection from the government, and for that reason, the fishermen have now converted from fishing to ferrying tourists that go to look for the showbill.
Hmm.
Yeah, there you can see it eating some fish.
Yeah.
The-
Finally found.
of course, here they feed the
Yeah, I
birds
know,
with
I
fish.
know.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering if it's going to swallow it whole. Yeah, it doesn't want to share, so he has
He
moved
doesn't
away.
want to share and doesn't want to
Yeah,
be recorded on live when he's
sure.
eating.
Yeah, but here we can have an up close view of the,
Oh,
how big the bird is.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you are a birding enthusiast, this is
Mm-hmm.
one bird you wouldn't want to miss on your trip to Uganda. It can be found in 4 locations in the country. First is Mawamba Swamp, which is also nearby here on Lake Victoria. Secondly, we find it in Murchison Falls National Park at the delta point of the River Nile. We also find them in Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary, and we also find them in Semliki Valley National Park. Yeah. This, we are right from the wetland ecosystem. We shall find it later. The other side, there are other showbills in the other area of the wetland ecosystem. But I would like to veer away from the wetland ecosystem and lead us to the chimpanzee sanctuary, which is a replica of Budongo Forest. Now, Budongo Forest is found in Murchison Falls National Park. It is found on the side that has no tall animals. These are the elephants and the giraffes. So the canopy of the area has grown. Do you hear anything?
Yeah, it was welcome,
Yeah.
Polish
Yeah, you're
people.
welcome to the chimpanzee territory. Now we have a message here from the facility that we have to be mindful of the feelings of the animals and not to harass them, and as well as to respect them, because where we are heading to, the chimpanzee sanctuary, the chimpanzee part of this sanctuary, is that it has a story. It has sad story to it, in that all the chimpanzees we shall see here have been rescued from the wilderness. There have been some have been rescued from the hands of people who are definitely meant to hurt them. Others were found desperately in captivity, and for this reason, the sanctuary likes to remind people that these animals have feelings too, and that they
Yeah,
are not a bad thing. We should protect them and live with them, because they are given to us by Mother Nature for our benefit, and not to harm us as well. Yeah.
that's
So
true.
here we are heading to the chimpanzee territory of things. But just before we can enter there, I'd like us to have a look at the memory of the first leader of chimpanzees on this sanctuary. He was called Zakayo.
Zakayo.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, Zakayo. Now, chimpanzees live in families as well. They have the head of the family.
Mhm.
Yeah, they are very aggressive animals, and usually the head of the family does not have peace because he has to keep fighting to keep his title, to keep his place. The day he loses enough strength to fight, he is deposed, and he might also lose his life. So now, this chimpanzee called Zakayo was the first head of this family. The one interesting thing about Zakayo is that when he grew older, when he grew much older, yeah, he literally handed over the headship of the family here of chimpanzees. That's why he was able to live until his death, even under another male which was stronger at that time. So for him, it wasn't all about fighting to keep his place. No, he realized that now I'm old, I cannot run things here. You lead. You get, this is a behavior which is hard to come by in the animal kingdom, because there is a rule in the jungle: survival for the fittest. If anything is alive, it has to be fit. The day you are not fit enough, the day you get an injury, the day an animal gets older, it becomes food for another animal out there. So this behavior in Zakayo was unique, and that's why he lives in the memory of most people around here, and most people who know about conservation and us in the tourism. So we are heading out to
To
look
their
at the
place.
chimpanzees.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the meantime, I will ask you one question from the audience about the COVID entrance restriction and the visas. Can you say something about that? Because Uganda is open for tourists, yeah?
Yeah, sure. That's right.
What we need.
You need to have to enter Uganda. You need to have negative COVID-19 results that are not older than 72 hours. But then again, a new directive has been passed, effective 3rd September, that upon arrival, every client, irrespective of their vaccination status, have to be tested upon arrival. It is quite unfortunate, yeah, but again, it is a directive that we cannot ignore. So,
But it's for the vaccine people or without vaccine, or
yeah,
all of them?
even the people who are
Okay.
vaccinated, they have to take a test upon arrival. Now, upon arrival, there is a testing center near the airport where we have been given a provision as tour operators. We can pick our clients, take them to a testing center, their samples get picked, and then we take them to our accommodation. They don't have to wait at the testing center for results, but then results are also expected within 3 hours after testing. And this COVID test costs $55 if you are coming through a tours company, and $65 if you are an individual and you are on your own.
Okay,
Yeah,
and this is a fast test, but still we need to do the second one 72 hours before, yeah?
That is before arrival. That one you have to do. Then this is the second one is after arrival.
Okay.
Yeah, immediately after arrival. Then also at departure, you are required to have a test of 72 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we don't need visas, or we need?
Well, I have to check for Polish clients if they need visa, but usually most clients from Europe need visa. 30 days visa costs $50. If in case you're going to the whole of East Africa, the visa costs $100 to go to Uganda, Kenya, and Rwanda. Yeah, but if it is Uganda only, Visa is only
$50. Yeah, but
Yes.
it's possible to do it online, as I
It is. Yeah, you can do visa
online visa.
online. Yeah, it is the one which is now being promoted because we have to minimize contact as a result of
Yeah.
COVID regulations. So right now here, well, the challenge we have with the chimpanzee section of things is that the tall trees provide a shade, and we are not able to look at the chimpanzees really, really well. I think you shall be able to see the movement. Some of them are high up in the trees. Some of them are resting in the other corner. I'm not sure if some are resting in that corner. Then we have some chimpanzees up here in the tree. There is also this gentleman here sleeping.
Sleeping. So it's a
Yeah.
lazy day or lazy time for them.
Yes, it is just afternoon siesta, right before feeding. The chimpanzees here, they are the design of this place is inspired by the chimpanzees' natural fear of water bodies. You can see they are in sort of an island surrounded by water because chimpanzees don't they fear to swim in
They
water.
fear, yeah.
They fear to swim in water. They can step in, but they can't go a distance further. That's why they are able to keep them in here. Otherwise, chimpanzees are very, very aggressive animals, very loud, very rowdy. They don't take no prisoners. When we were, these chimpanzees used to live in all wildernesses uh, around all areas in the country. When we were growing up, we used to see them in our farmlands where we would be grazing animals. But unfortunately, with increasing populations now, uh, the the number and density of forest has been steadily eroded away, and that's why we get many chimpanzees conflicting with the human settlement. All these chimpanzees that are kept here were rescued from different areas in the country. Like I earlier told you, these chimpanzees were evenly distributed throughout the country, and they only now their habitat has been narrowed down to a few protected areas in the country. These chimpanzees here, most of them have been sterilized so that the populations can keep in check. Chimpanzees live in troops, in groups led by the chief male, and in the wilderness, they are not as they are not as kind as you see them here. They are really, really loud. They don't tolerate any member who is not part of their family. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why when a chimpanzee is separated from its family, its chances of survival are really, really low. So when these animals would be rescued from the wilderness, they couldn't take them back because they know now they cannot locate their families. Because,
Yeah. So
yeah,
what they do before they put the chimpanzee inside the family? There is a place you said me about that. Yeah.
sure. Yeah, so now the chimpanzees that are around here are now more like a family. Yeah, and they know each other, but again, they cannot tolerate any other chimpanzee coming in. So once they rescue some chimpanzee, another new chimpanzee, another new member, they have to first put them through a rehabilitation process. Yeah, which is done. We shall come back here. Let's first take a look. Um, you can see there's some facility that side. Yeah, it is restricted for this activity, but there is a much more sophisticated activity where they can allow access to that facility. But what they do there is they keep the newest arrivals at the sanctuary, the chimpanzees there, so that they can, as they live there, when they make calls, they are able to know that there are fellow chimpanzees around the sanctuary, and they are able to get used to each other through their loud calls. And after a period of like half a year, these chimpanzees get to know each other from the calls, and they get accustomed to the new chimpanzees that has come in, and they easily accommodate them into their family here. So that way, after that process, they can be transferred into this sanctuary to live here with the rest of the chimpanzees. Otherwise, they cannot bring a chimpanzee from the wilderness and put it here to stay with these other chimpanzees, because it will these other chimpanzees will definitely bully him or her. They could even kill it, because chimpanzees are also known for killing and eating members which are not part of their families.
Yeah, that's interesting that they recognize each other from the screaming, from
Yeah,
the voice.
yes, they bond from screaming. They can tell a member of the family from their loud cries.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daria told you that these chimpanzees are sterilized so that they do not have babies and outgrow the population of here. But there is also another sanctuary called Ngamba Island Sanctuary. It is found on Lake Victoria. So most all other rescued chimps are taken there so that they can be taken care of. There is no way they can escape from an island. Yeah, but it is also a safe place for them to live. Uh, when once you choose to visit this facility, there is a product called behind the scenes experience, where you can be allowed to feed the chimpanzees in the rehabilitation center. You can, and also to take some routine maintenance checks or medical checks on the chimpanzees. There's also chimpanzee caregiver experience, where you may be able to cross over there with the expert doctors of the facility and get to have a personal and up close view of these chimpanzees. I am yet to learn that these activities for now are on hold because of COVID, and we are not sure whether COVID can attack the chimpanzees, but most likely, and that would be very catastrophic for us. So
Yeah.
for now, it is not an activity that is on offer at the sanctuary. Yeah,
Okay.
but right here we have the names of the different chimpanzees here. If we can get here, you will see most, like I had told you, all of the chimpanzees here were rescued from native areas. Here you can see there is they have the given names to them and where they were rescued. This one is rescued from Kalangala. Kalangala is an island in Lake Victoria, a very huge island. This is from Kasese. Kasese is where we find Queen Elizabeth National Park. Queen Elizabeth National Park, there is also a section of that park called Chambura Gorge, where they are habituated chimpanzees, and you can go there and see them and track them. This one is unknown still. This one was born here, a surprise, because most chimpanzees here are sterilized, but sometimes they receive birth, which is always a surprise here. This one was found in Arua district, that is northwestern Uganda. This one is in Bundibujo, that is western Uganda, where we find Semliki Valley National Park. Semliki Valley National Park is also home of chimpanzees. You can also view chimpanzees when you go to that place. Masindi is where we find Murchison Falls National Park and Budongo Forest. The inspiration for this kind of setup of the facility. This one was rescued from Kampala district. Kampala is the capital. Yeah, the capital. Yeah. It was rescued from people who are intending to traffic it. So every chimpanzee here has a story to it. Not so good stories, but we are glad that at least now people get to learn and to learn how to respect these animals and then to treat them better. We are very hopeful that efforts like this should continue, so that we shouldn't lose the chimpanzees. At least chimpanzees are not as critically endangered, not like gorillas. Yeah, but also they are under threat. But we are glad that conservation efforts are doing a great job of keeping the chimpanzees around here with us. Like I had told you, we can find chimpanzees in Uganda in Murchison Falls National Park, Budongo Forest.
Yeah.
But the capital of chimpanzees in Uganda is Kibale Forest National Park. Alongside chimpanzees, there are also other 12 species of primates we can find in Kibale Forest National Park. It is a forested national park. You cannot drive there. You can only take walks there, and there are over 2,000 chimpanzees in that area alone, and the chances of you viewing chimpanzees in that facility is 100%.
Yeah.
Once you get there, you'll definitely not missing any chimpanzees. Yeah, that is the story of chimpanzees. We can have a closer look at the rehabilitation facility, but like I had earlier told you that we cannot be allowed access there because it's a restricted area. We can only access it once you come here for research or volunteering purposes. Yeah, but the chimpanzees live inside there. Yeah, they are kind of cages inside. They can also leave them outside just to, I don't know if I can see some moving in the cage. Let me see if I can get close enough to, I don't really, it
Far away.
is far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some chimpanzee in that cage which was moving. Yeah, you think you can, I don't know if you can see any movement in it. So those animals right there are the ones under rehabilitation, and once they are done with that process of rehabilitation, they will be joined up with the other family, and that's only when they can guarantee their safety. At the start of our tour, I told us that this sanctuary also serves a breeding purpose. Yeah. So right here we have ostriches. The ostriches here are for exhibition and also for breeding, multiplication purposes. Yeah. So you can see there are quite a number of them here.
Yes.
They get to breed, and so that their eggs are safe. You see, ostriches don't fly, and one of the biggest threat to their existence is that when they lay their eggs are easily eaten by ground-dwelling animals like lizards,
Yeah.
mongoose, and many other animals. And those animals can both climb trees and dwell in holes. So this leaves the ostriches very vulnerable to extinction. Yeah, because if their eggs cannot hatch, then they cannot live long enough to reproduce. So here they are kept in cages, and once they lay eggs, they are protected well enough to brood them, and so they can get chicks. We cannot. There is no young chicks at the moment, but we can see these chimpanzees. We can see. We can find ostriches in northwestern Uganda, northeastern Uganda, in Kidepo Valley National Park, and also in Pian Upe Game Reserve, which is also found in the northwest part of Uganda. The ostrich is the biggest bird um, alive in Africa here. It is flightless, it can't fly, but it's quite fast on the ground. It is also very ferocious when it has eggs. It can as well chase away smaller cats like we saw the caracals, but it cannot handle the bigger cats like leopards and lions, which also prey on the birds, especially when it's dry, when it is in the wet season, and the other animals cannot easily be seen. And also, one reason why it is not advisable to travel in the wet season is if you really want to see lions in the wet season, they will not be, you cannot easily see them because they'll be where the food is. The food is the cobs. Now, the cobs and other herbivores, once they are inside their forest, they are harder to hunt. They are really, really hard to hunt because there are obstacles, the trees and the bushes. But once it is in open savanna ground, where there is range, where because lions and the cats depend so much on speed, yeah, they can easily
Yes.
ambush and speed. Where there are so many obstacles, yes, they can ambush, but then they can't they can't run full speed because there are obstacles that hinder their movement. So for that reason, you will find yourself driving for longer hours looking for the lions and you can't see them. But here we have the ostriches.
Yeah.
You can have a good view of them. Yeah, and then we move to the giraffe side of the facility. This area sits on 72 acres of land. Yeah, and for this reason, it is set up differently from a typical setup of a zoo. It's not a zoo as such. It is more like a sanctuary. Yeah, and it is set up in a way that we keep the environment as close as possible to the natural environment that these animals live in. Yeah, so that's why you are able to see some of the animals here breeding and getting young ones because they are not taken out of their natural environment. Their systems stay used to how they have been or how they have gotten to be used in their natural ecosystems. So we are taking quite a longer walk along the trails, but we are getting as close as possible to the Lake Victoria. And
Yes.
yeah,
At the end of the trip, we need to show the audience the Lake of Victoria.
yes,
That's a
sure,
wonderful place.
sure. Yeah, we shall also come back and take a look at the next side of the next side of this sanctuary, but I'll try to walk a little faster so that we can get to the giraffes and get to see the baboons. I see even here quite
because we are over 1 hour, which is unused.
we are over
so,
one.
Yeah,
We are over 1 hour.
The time is going fast.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah,
here we have cages.
Yeah.
We have cages. They are for primates. Primates, these are apes. We have what we call black and white colobus monkey. We shall see it. But then we also have this red-tailed monkey.
Yeah.
These monkeys are evenly distributed in the country. We are gifted with quite a number of monkeys, and some of them, if you have trees around your home or you have plantations around your home, these guys will definitely be your visitors. But the challenge they get now is that they become pests. Yeah, and most people do not tolerate them on their farms, and that is also becoming a threat to their livelihoods. There we have the red-tailed monkeys. This is the black and white colobus monkey.
Yeah.
While we were growing up,
the stolen one.
Yeah,
Needs
the
to be
black
careful.
and white one. Yeah, these monkeys are really they know how to live with people. They know how to take advantage of human settlements. They can they do a lot of harm to crops. So that's why there are always many people in their areas like here in Uganda, like 80% of the population do agriculture for a living. Yeah, and when we have monkeys like this that are greatly attracted to crops and fields, they become instant enemies. So we have had many cases whereby these animals have been poisoned or have been hunted down. But it's the good thing is that they are not they are not threatened, they are not endangered. Yeah, here we have a baboon. Baboons are very, very notorious apes. When you get a chance to come to Uganda, there are some sections where you reach, and they tell you close your car, don't move out, don't hold your phone near the window. These guys can take anything. They can
Yeah,
even
that's
enter your
true.
car and
That's
check
true.
your bag for something to eat. Yeah, they are.
That's true.
They have also been known for entering people's homes and stealing children if they find them unattended to. Yeah, and they are a really very big. They are not friends with with places where there are humans at all. So, but they are quite a common sight, and they have also adapted to how man lives. If you move, if you move along the ways, you'll find baboons there already waiting for people, for cars, hoping that people will give them something to eat, and they'll literally beg you. So if you park your car there, they know you have brought something to eat, and they'll definitely climb onto your car. If the window is open, they'll get in there. But they are very ferocious animals. They are very vicious. They have very sharp teeth, and they are very dangerous if not handled well, or if let too close to you.
Mhm.
Um, we get to the giraffe side of the park.
Yep.
Giraffes live here. Yeah,
Oh, we see them.
giraffes live here. Yeah, we have three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have three giraffes here. The tallest mammal that we have here in Uganda. These two are juveniles. The other bigger one is the more mature giraffe. The giraffes in Uganda can be found in Kidepo Valley, Murchison Falls, and of
Mhm.
recently they have also been relocated to Lake Imburo National Park. You can see a longhorned animal, yeah,
Yes, yes.
at the base
Mhm.
of the giraffe. Those are longhorned native cows here in Uganda. We have some tribes that keep cows in Uganda, and these animals are really a source of prestige for the natives. Like they play important roles in marriage, like
Mhm.
as a form of dowry. What is given are animals, and since most families depend on subsistence farming, these animals do a lot to support families. Like say, whenever need arises, they always sell those longhorned cattle for, uh, for some money to run things around. But you can find these ones in the western part of Uganda, and in Lake Imburo, you actually find such scenarios where you find cattle grazing with the giraffes and zebras and cobs as well. For a matter of time, like Adalia told you, we are so near Lake Victoria. We are on the shores of Lake Victoria.
Yeah.
This is how close we are uh,
Yeah.
from giraffe. You
Mhm.
just turn to the lake. Now, the place we are at is called Entebbe. Entebbe is a peninsula to the lake. It's not so big. It's an area with a population of 34,000 people. But this Entebbe place is one of the first areas to get modernized in Uganda. It's an airport town as well. So most of the arrivals into the country pass here. Where we are right
Mm.
now is only 15 minutes drive to the airport, and for that reason, you will find much of the infrastructure here is a replica of the old or the first governments that were in place here in Uganda. You find most of the facilities are quite old from the colonial governments, and most of the land around this place is owned by the government. That's why they are able to set up a facility like this. We also have Entebbe Botanical Gardens. They're also very wide expanse of land that conserves trees and other plant species that are endangered in the wilderness. Um, and we also have so many other government institutions and army bases here in Entebbe. as I had earlier told you that it is this tour is very ideal for somebody who is having
Yeah.
a layoff at the airport. You can just check out 15 minutes. If you have 3 or 4 hours to your next flight, you can take a tour around this place. There are some birds swimming on the shores here. The waves are coming in. So this is Lake Victoria, the largest freshwater lake in
Yeah.
Africa. Also the source of the River Nile, which is the longest river in the world, starting here until the Mediterranean Sea. And also this lake supports a lot of supports a big part of the populations around the three nations that share it. There are so many fishing villages around this lake, so many water purification plants like the one you can see over there, and it is there are also so many beaches and recreational facilities that center around uh, Lake Victoria here. As we as we wind up our tour, I would like to take us through basically what a safari to Uganda entails. Uh, like all that we have seen here can be put together into an itinerary for
Mm-hmm.
somebody who is intending to travel into Uganda. Basically, an itinerary for you has to be customized. Like if you
Yes.
mention to us what you need to do, what your interests are, we can customize it and make sure that you get exactly what you need, and we recommend which places to go to. What we have seen here can be found in throughout Uganda. Okay, not in one place in Uganda, but there are specific places where we can find it. And in most cases, Uganda is gifted enough that in most cases we'll have more than one place where we can find a specific thing. Yeah, so while we are designing itineraries, we put this into your consideration. Also, consider the budget. We consider a budget of the client coming in, and for that reason, we are able to package for you something that fits into your interest as well as it fits into your budget. For example, if you want to see chimpanzees, there are 4 places where you can view, no, not 4, there are actually 6 places where you can view chimpanzees. But these 6 places have different prices and different experiences as well. So if somebody is a primate enthusiast, they will most likely have different experiences of one thing, but from different locations. Well, one thing that we don't have here at this facility are the gorillas, and that is the biggest highlight of the Ugandan safari.
That's
Because
true.
yeah, because gorillas are found in only 3 nations. Mountain gorillas are found in only 3 nations here
Yeah.
in Uganda. That is Uganda. Sorry, here in Africa or in the world as well. That is Uganda, Rwanda, and DRC. Now,
Yeah.
in DRC is not a safe place
Mm-hmm.
because of the usual instability. Rwanda is a good place here, but it's quite pricey
Yes.
compared
True.
to here in
Uganda.
Uganda. And
True.
here in Uganda, we have more animals, and we can find them in 2 national parks. And that also gives us a diversity of experience. If you want to see a gorilla, if you want to visit a gorilla family that has many babies, we can take you to a gorilla family that has many babies. Why don't we have gorillas here? Well, you don't put your hot cakes at the door like for everybody to come and pick. Well, no. Gorillas can be found in Bwindi Impenetrable National Park, and to see gorillas is quite expensive, so we can't keep them around here because it will be taking away what the client would experience once they get to visit the different places that there are in Uganda. Yes, here you can have a summary of what you will see in the country, but again, once you get into the field there and look at things in their natural environments, it is also a completely different experience. as we are heading back to the information center,
Mhm.
I'd just like us to take a look at these guys. These are called otters. They live around water bodies. Where there is a lake, you find these otters. They love fish. Yeah, they are in the company of uh, of a bird. It's called the hammercorp. It also lives in swampy ecosystems. It also loves fish. It's waiting. Maybe they could invite him, but no, it's not going to be the case. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay,
And
Isaac.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's needed to end. It's one of the longest virtual
Oh,
trip
sure.
we ever
Sure.
ever done.
Fine. We are ending
Yeah,
it right here. We are ending
yeah.
it right here by having a look at the crocodile, the Nile
Uh-huh.
crocodile. This is also one descendant of the dinosaurs. You
Mm-hmm.
can, you can it is there very conspicuous. It looks like a tree. These crocodiles are also rescued from human settlements, like when they stray from lakes and threaten fishermen. They usually call the conservation officials to come and rescue them and take them back to the areas where they should belong. So, well, we did not have a clear look at zebras last time.
Mm,
Here they are
yeah,
as we head back to the center.
yeah.
And yeah, if we are able to find the elephant, we shall also look at it. But this has been a tour of the summary of what Uganda has to offer. I would also like to tell you that there are more other things apart from wildlife that you can see in the country. We have different cultures, and these different cultures have different histories as well as the different experiences from home experiences. You are able to live with you can be able to live with a family of natives and find out how really life is for Ugandans. Usually, the life here in Africa is quite slow paced. Most people still live in rural settings, and it is not stratified that this is an industrial center, this is an agricultural center. It is generalized. Most families you'll find they do little subsistence agriculture and subsistence farming, but usually, okay, that is coming to change slowly. But again, the experience offered here are good for learning for different people from different walks of life. Um,
Okay.
unless there are any other questions I could answer before we can get
No,
off
I
call.
think we go with whole question. If you can turn your camera on you, it will be easier to show at the end yourself. If it will be any more question, of course, I will share it with you and we will answer it. So even if somebody will have more question, then because I checked already that we did the question from the audience, which is the most important. So as you said, we customize the travel for the clients with you to Uganda. So everything is working on the requests and we prepare the tailor-made trips. Oh, there is one more animal to say to us bye-bye.
Yeah, that's a juvenile buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, these ones also are well distributed throughout the country. Um, okay, Elvia, I would like to thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very
Um,
much, Isaac, that you agreed to join to our virtual trips project. It was really
thank you.
nice trip, and we got, I think, a lot of information about the animals of Uganda.
Thank you very much. I'm glad, and hopefully, we could do it with better other sightings in the country as well.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you chose to showcase Uganda, and we are
that's
always
true.
ready to receive you in case you choose to come and visit us here in Uganda.
Yeah, that's great.
Sure.
I really want to send some clients now to for real trip in Uganda, not only virtual, because they need to see also the mountains gorillas, which are not in this park but in the
Mm.
different areas. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, like I mentioned, it's always a much different experience
Of
once you
course.
come into the field and set out early morning to go and look for these things that we have seen. It is quite ecstatic for you.
Yeah, of course. Every time it's
True.
a different experience that you are do it like, with full emotion and with experience, not only to, see on internet, of course. So fingers crossed. Thank you very much,
Sure.
Isaac, one more time for this virtual trip and that you agree to join to this project.
Thank you, Elvira. Wish you all the best.
Yeah, I wish you all the
Sure.
best as well.
Sure.
Kochani, Wam również dziękujemy za udział w tych wirtualnych podróżach. Mamy nadzieję, że spodobał Wam się spacer po Ugandzie i będziecie chcieli pojechać tam osobiście, żeby zobaczyć to miejsce, ale też nie tylko, tak? Widzieliście kawałek Jeziora Wiktorii, które jest taką perełką tej części Afryki i wiele osób marzy, aby zobaczyć właśnie to miejsce, ale myślę, że inaczej odczujecie, jak pojedziecie tam fizycznie. No i oczywiście goryle górskie czekają także tam na Was. Chciałam Wam życzyć miłego popołudnia, dziękuję za udział w tej wirtualnej podróży i oczywiście zachęcam Was do czynnego udziału w kolejnych spotkaniach. Wkrótce opublikujemy informacje o kolejnym kierunku i dniu, kiedy się spotkamy. Miłego dnia Wam życzę, pozdrawiam Was serdecznie.